Hi, I'm Susanna Bowling, and this is live from the Hotel Edison. Times Square Chronicles presents. Back in the day, the boy bands were the hottest things known to man. Every teenage girl had their posters. People swooned to them. NSYNC, Boys to Men, and a plethora of them. And I'm going to let my guests tell you all about it because they are the boy band project, bringing the boy bands back to life. Travis, let's start with you.
Hello, thank you for having us.
You're welcome. Tell us your name, what your background is, and how the boy band project got started.
My name is Travis, and I have been boy banding since the 80s. No, I was born in the 80s, but so I grew up in Southern California. I went to Boston.
Wait, where?
A little town called Norco, California. It's just outside of Orange County.
I know it well.
Do you really?
I went
Where the 91 meets the 15?
Yeah. I went to Edison High, and I went to Los Amigos High.
Oh, neighbors.
I was.
So I went to Orange County High School for the Arts, actually, which is in Santa Ana. So I commuted, and then I went to Boston Conservatory for school, and then I did like the theater thing in New York for about 10 years. Did Altar Boys with this one off Broadway, and which you'll hear all about him later. And and then I started Boy Band Project, like more or less 10 years ago, but like since 2017 is like the full-time thing, and now that's my job.
Now, were you the originator of the boy band project?
Yes.
What made you do it?
So we did Altar Boys off Broadway for a very long time. 555 performances is what I did, and so then I got done with it, and I just had this inkling like I wanted to create some sort of like entity or business, and I had all of these friends that looked like they could be in boy bands, and nobody was covering the music like really well, and so I was like, I'll just make it.
Of all the boy band members that have been in all the different bands, which one do you relate to the most?
Oh my gosh. I mean, it's hard. They're all so individual and unique, and I guess like my hero growing up was Brian Luttrell from the Backstreet Boys. He was my favorite. We actually met him, and I like peed myself a little bit.
Next up.
I
Literally peed.
He did it.
Oh no, if I told you all the people that I got to meet in my life, because my dad was an agent.
Yeah.
And so I got to meet like anyone that I ever wanted, and believe me when I tell you, the embarrassing stories that I have, beyond.
Yeah, it's like it's crazy when you meet like your hero. You're just like, you forget how to talk.
It was also a very funny situation because we were on Good Morning America, and they had presented it to us as if we were part of this contest, but we didn't know this, but they were actually filming us while we were in the room rehearsing, and my mom called me and was like, "You're on TV right now." And I was like, "No, that's not till tomorrow." And she's like, "No, I'm watching you on TV right now." And I was like, "Is this being filmed?" And they're like, "Yeah, we're just getting some B-roll." And then next thing you know, they came in and they were just like, "Surprise, you guys are gonna meet the Backstreet Boys." And we were like, "What?" And they brought us to their concert in Central Park, and it was amazing. It was just such a weird event on Good Morning America that was so awesome.
See, I was into the original boy band, the Monkees. Well, actually, I take that back. The original boy band is really the Beatles.
Hello, everybody out there. I'm Jesse J.P. Johnson. I met Travis doing Altar Boys, like he said. I'm originally from Denver, Colorado. John Denver. And I grew up in theater because I was a crazy child, and my parents needed to give me an outlet for my insane craziness. But it stuck, and I loved it. And I came to New York. I was 17. I toured with a non-equity tour of Greece with Frankie Avalon as a teen angel. He refused to be equity, so he was like, "I'll do the non-equity version." It was a lot of fun. My nana was very happy. I did a couple other like non-equity tours, and then I got Altar Boys, the tour of Altar Boys. So I got my equity card, and then I went into Off-Broadway for a little bit, and that's where I met Travis. And then I've been in the city since then. I've been in Wicked for the past 10 years. And I played Bach and I was in the ensemble, and now I universal swing for them when they need people to help fill in and help them out. And yeah, I started doing a boy band project with Travis back in the day.
Yeah.
And back then I was the edgy one, and now I am the sensitive one. And it's, I'm a Pisces, and it's much more, yes, exactly. I'm a very clingy fish.
You never.
Yes.
Never.
Which is why I probably identify most with Joey McIntyre. Yeah. I even got a perm when I was younger so I can look like him. Yeah, I love Joey. It's cool. Anyway. Yeah.
Okay, you're next.
Hi, how's it going? Who you are? So I am Chris Messina. I grew up on Long Island, and my whole family's still out there. Big Italian family that's all into sports and wrestling and all the macho things. And I wanted to dance and be in theater, so I decided to go into that. My family had no clue what to do with me. And around 11 years old, I started auditioning for Broadway shows and tours.
At 11?
Yeah. And my parents would drive me into the city, and at the age of 11, I booked the first national tour of Les Mis as Gavroche. And my mom got the call, and she said, "Are you kidding me? I'm not going on tour with my son. I'm not sending him on tour." So she turned it down. $1,300 a week. I was devastated. She never really thought I would get the role, so she just kind of was like humoring me. But then, or just in general, she never really thought, she didn't know what was going to happen. But I danced and I sang my whole life. And then I started working on cruise ships just out of high school, and working on different tours. I did the non-act tour of Hairspray. I worked for Royal Caribbean for a couple contracts. And then I just kept working my way up and became a dance captain and associate. And then I got into Jersey Boys on Broadway, and I did that show for 11 years.
Who'd you play?
I played Pesci. I was the swing, and then the last probably 5-6 months I played Frankie Valli for the end of the tour. Of the show. And then I opened a week later, after that closed, I opened in a Bronx Tale. Growing up, I always wanted to be either JC or Justin. I even, like a very young age, I was sitting in a salon with that crazy cap on my head where they were pulling the hair through so I can get this done, but in pieces, like my tips frosted. So I'd say Justin or JC for sure.
My name is Jesse Corbin, and I am also a boy bander. For a couple years now. I initially started off doing theater as a kid, similar to what Jesse Johnson mentioned. I think my parents needed me to have like some type of outlet for all the energy that I had. I was signed up for gymnastics, theater, pottery, everything. I think my mom was like, he's got to do something. And then when I headed to college, even though I loved theater and had done so much of it, most people in my life weren't connected to professional artists, so the idea of being a professional artist was very unrealistic and very unstable. So I went to school for education to be an elementary educator. And about a year and a half in, I was like, I love kids, I love teaching, but I don't think this is for me. So by the time I graduated, I started doing regional theater and spent a couple years bouncing around doing Les Mis, Joseph, Hairspray, different stuff like that. Moved to the city. Continued to do a lot of regional theater, worked off-Broadway doing a small production of The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe for a while. Now I'm spending more time writing and creating music and theater. So it's been a really fun journey, and when I became a part of Boy Band Project, it was absolutely a moment of, this is what I was born to do. Like, my entire life growing up, the idea of being in a boy band, just like the swagger, the music, the moves, the camaraderie, so much about it that like, I remember I did the first boy band show and I was like, this is it. This is like, give me honestly, if we had a Vegas residency, I'd be like, bye New York, I'm gonna go do 8 shows a week of Boy Band Project and be so happy. Similar to what Chris said, when I was younger, I think I would have identified more with the like JC, JT, Brian, like Nick Lachey from '98. Probably more because I had a crush on all of them than anything. But now I think AJ is who I identify with the most because he's very like fun, quirky, but he's a big softie. He's kind of like a little rough around the edges, but he wears pink nail polish. Like, I'm like, yes, that's the vibe that I identify with most now.
Now, you guys started off at the Green Room 42, am I correct? Mm-hmm. And now you're going to be at City Winery. Are you excited about that?
Yeah. Well, we started at Green Room, then we went to Chelsea Table and Stage, and now we've been at City Winery since almost a year.
I hadn't a clue. Oh, yeah. I mean, I know that COVID stopped you guys because you were like on a major momentum.
Yeah. It was kind of crazy. I don't know. We
We were in Puerto Vallarta, and during the pandemic when it first was starting, and it was February 28th. We flew back to the U.S. to do a wedding, and we were hearing obviously about it, but we really didn't know what was going on. And then we had this brunch in New York, March 13th, and the shows already were shutting down. And we called each other a conference call, and we're like, should we be doing this brunch? We don't really know. Like, people are crazy on the streets. It was very
Close the city at all, yeah.
first like socially distant brunch, and everybody had like Purell on the tables, and we had just gotten back from Mexico, so we really didn't know the severity of it at all. But we were all kind of like making fun of it and just being like, yeah, let's Purell people. But then like a week later, everything shut down. We were like, what's happening? This is crazy. Because again, we were in Mexico for 2 months before that. So
supposed to be in China. Yeah. On like a small tour in China with Boy Band Project, like in April. That
obviously got canceled.
Yeah.
Wait, that leads to a really great question, actually. Where have you been, and what is your favorite place that you've been?
Favorite place I've been with boy bands? Ooh, that's a tough one. And yes, and performed. So even though Puerto Vallarta, Mexico is probably the most exotic, like fun location we've performed, I think to date it's a toss up. Okay, I'm gonna give you my top two. One, our very first cruise with Celebrity Cruise Lines. We have done so many cruises with them, but for some reason that first cruise, the crowd, the audiences, maybe because it was pretty new after the pandemic, people went wild. The love that we had on that ship was insane, like amazing. And then the other one tied for first is we did a show at Southern Utah University. And we've done college gigs before, so there's nothing wrong with them, but it didn't seem like that big a deal. And we showed up, and you would have thought that New Kids on the Block, Backstreet Boys, and NSYNC were all having a reunion concert from the way they reacted. People were trying to push over the barricades in front of the stage. People were holding up phones with notes that were like, "Marry me, Chris," or "I want your babies, Jesse." Like, it's funny because I think all of us are realistic enough to realize what's really happening is we're tapping into people's love of the music and their nostalgia. I'm not trying to discredit any of us as performers. We're all great performers. We're all good-looking guys. So yes, audience members obviously are like, "Oh my God, I'm in love with the sensitive one. I want him to be my boyfriend." But the reaction we're getting isn't because I'm Justin Timberlake. The reaction is people are going, they're making me feel something. They're taking me to a place that feels so good. Right. So I think we get the best of both worlds. We don't have to deal with actually being celebrities and having our lives completely under a microscope, but we still get that rush of being celebrities in our shows because for that moment, for those 90 minutes, we are rock stars to these people.
The reason I asked this question is last night, Magda and I were going from one show to reviewing another show, and the pop-up concert of Shakira happened. And it had happened within like 40 minutes of when we walked past it, and it was already packed, and I was like, oh God.
I think everybody, us included, didn't really know how the ships with the demographic that there are, a lot of older people on the ships. So we weren't sure how it was going to be taken at first. But speaking of the nostalgia of it, I mean, it doesn't matter how old you are, you have memories of different things, whether that song was on the radio, whether, it just brings you back to wherever you were. And so many people, whether they were boy band fans or not, even on this last cruise we were just on, would come up and be like, "Oh, I brought my daughter to the Jonas Brothers concert 3 times. Like, it wasn't my music, but like it brought me back to this sweet moment of my life that my daughter was young." And like so people who have lost people or family members, that we remind them and we bring them back to these places, and it really is amazing to touch, like to feel like you've touched someone after a performance like that. And they always come up and they tell us and they share it with us. And that is something that's been super special about the cruise ships. And the question of the demographics and if they get the show or they love us or,
Demographics. Actually, that's a really interesting question because you guys don't just appeal to the teeny boppers. Your demographics are male, female. Like so many of my gay friends are like so into you, but so are some of my straight friends, which is like seriously nuts because I don't think that you have a lot of artists today that cross over as many genres that you guys are doing right now.
Well, I don't think there's many artists today that like in the 90s and 80s and early 2000s, like pop music at the time was so universal that everybody was just so obsessed with it. I think it was just, we're coming into times where we're able to be a lot more of ourselves and not have to adhere to like society and what we're supposed to be. But no, the nostalgia, and I think that's like a big word that, keeps coming up is, just being able to like escape. And I mean, any type of theater and any type of art form is that. It's like escapism, and it helps people like kind of not have to think for, 90 minutes, 3 hours, however long it lasts.
Just wanted to tag on to that. As beautiful as it is that we do have so many more options when it comes to media and music and all this type of stuff, and people can express themselves, there is still something so special even today about finding those things we connect over. So you see so many posts of pictures of things from the 90s where it's like, do you remember that cup from Taco Bell? Do you remember that answering machine in your grandma's house? And we're all like, oh my gosh, yes, we all had that collective experience. So today we can find our niches, which is cool, but when we can find something that bonds us instantly, it feels so good. And because music was more curated, more cohesive, there was less options. Even if you weren't a fan of Backstreet Boys, you still heard the music. You knew them, you knew of them. So when people walk into our shows, they don't need to know each other, but everyone finds a common denominator in that music, and we don't get to share that a lot today.
I also think that back then, the music was in the supermarket. It was in your car. It was down the street. Yes, radio was huge.
Less on demand, too. Yeah. It was very hand-selected by a group of people, and they definitely, succeeded with a lot of these boy band hits, but it made the selection quite easier back then. And we're just kind of, reminding you of simpler times, I guess, but with our, contemporary humor on top of it. Yeah, that's very important.
We're performing, we're doing, sweating, we're singing, we're, laying it out on the stage. But in the same way as they're having that nostalgic, bringing them back, we're having the same experience. Like, we all grew up wanting, especially as 4 gay men, sorry if I just outed you guys. Especially
Don't tell them you're my boyfriend.
So especially as 4 gay men, I think when we were growing up, there wasn't High School Musical yet. There wasn't things that made it okay to want to do theater and to perform, and that immediately made you gay or made you a sissy or made you whatever, So when boy bands started, it was like, oh, I could do this and still be considered masculine. I could still be cool. So there was kind of like our High School Musical, our in to be able to perform and do this thing that we love to do, but wasn't okay yet. And then the next generation got the High School Musical, and now,
now
it's
we have Troye
out there.
Sivan as a pop artist who's out and proud and mainstream. That's...
I mean, wonderful, but just to think about that time, to look at music now, it's like, wow, I don't know what little Travis in high school would have thought to see somebody like that in the mainstream,
But wait, I have a question for you because you grew up in California too.
Yeah.
Honestly, the whole people putting people down for being gay, I mean, I'm old, but I never saw this. I mean, I knew all my friends were, and who cared?
Yeah.
I grew up in theater, though.
I mean, so did I, but I went to public school, and then it was, when I found out I was gay, that I was like, I'm just gonna wait till college, and I'll let everybody know. Just put a pin in it.
I don't know if I don't know if we talked about our sexuality, and in all honesty, I don't know why we are now. But no, seriously, like, why do we care who somebody else sleeps with, though? I don't.
I totally agree. I totally agree. And when I created the show, a lot of people, because it just happened, it's just kind of like random that we're all gay. I mean, there are straight people involved, but it wasn't like, oh, let me find a gaggle of gays to be in a boy band. No, it was like, let me find the best people I know to be in the show.
And that was the case.
That was this.
But that was the case in my high school. You know what I mean? I went to schools where most of the people that I was involved with, they all are performing and doing stuff now, and they all knew. Like, Facebook was the biggest outing thing for me, because they all knew that I would end up in New York. They all knew that I would end up doing what I was doing. Yeah. I didn't. I was so insecure about it all. I just didn't care. Yeah. I just wanted to do my own thing.
The perspective you have is really positive because you didn't care in the sense that it didn't matter to you whether they were straight or gay. And I think that we're in a time right now where we've come out of a place where it mattered only because so many people had a negative feeling about it. So it mattered for people to be able to express who they were, not because you needed to know who they slept with, but because they needed to feel safe to exist. And so hopefully we're moving into a space where, again, it's starting to matter less, not because you disapprove or we disapprove, but it matters less because we can love and accept each other, whether you're straight, gay, bi, whatever it is. And that's what's cool about this show is we'll have an audience of gay men and they'll identify with us and love it. We'll have an audience of 30-year-old straight women. They'll identify with us and enjoy it. We're not hiding who we are. We're
You're performing.
Yeah.
right, but we're still offering something that says, I can connect with you regardless of your sexuality without hiding my own. I can connect with you regardless of your background, your culture, whatever it is, without hiding my own, because this is a place where it's all celebrated. So by extension, we don't care because we care about all of it.
And it's safe. I think safety is the one thing that we forget to think that it could not be safe. I mean, you have Owen Meany and people that were killed for being who they were. And you just go, why?
Yeah, no, it's very true. I think that we're so lucky to be where we are in this time, in this moment, in this boy band.
Yeah. Being able to share that, and like obviously like we all have a relationship with each other, and we're able to kind of like share that love and that support, and you know it's like we're like Care Bears. It feels like being a Care Bear. You know, I mean, a performer.
No, you said that, and I just saw like a line of Care Bears doing boy bands. I just want to finish up. I want to finish up the question of what was your favorite place?
I think one of my favorites was here in New York. We opened for Todrick Hall, and that experience, it was packed. It was at the PlayStation Theater.
PlayStation Theater in Times Square. Yeah.
And it was a big house party tour, and we got out on that stage, and the whole place was skrelting for us, and they were singing every song with us, and like it just felt like they were on board from the moment we got out there, and we felt like rock stars. It was unreal.
Wait, did he do Beauty and the Hood?
No, he didn't.
That's my favorite. I swear, I've watched that video like a million times.
I mean, okay, so I have two. I'll tell you really quick. They're both in Colorado. One was we played our holiday show, did the Parker Arts Center. And I don't know, sometimes these venues just get the marketing right and they get the right people in. And we walk out on the stage, and it's his hometown. And we walk out on stage, and it's sold out, all 34-year-old women just like losing their minds. And I looked down, and in the front row was the girl that I had a crush on in like kindergarten. She had moved to Parker and bought a ticket, and she was like, hi. And I was like, oh my gosh. Yeah. And it was like they were ripping stuff off of us after that one. That was nuts.
Yeah, that was fun.
And the second one was we performed at Gay Ski Week in Aspen. And that was fun to just wear like fun snow outfits. It was really fun, yeah.
Oh, I wish I was there. That Parker Arts was definitely a big one because my family was able to come and my godson got to see it. And now every year I have to buy him light up shoes that we wear in the show, which is great. And they're also cheap because, you know, on Amazon, so that's nice.
eBay.
eBay, yes, there you go. I don't know. I think like it's really hard to choose. I feel like, I hear every one of their stories and I'm like, yeah, that one. Yeah, that one. Oh, I wasn't there, but I remember that one because maybe I was in my spirit. Yeah, because I'm sensitive. But I think it's just, any time that I get to, this show's so fun. I don't know. It's like a time I get to let loose and be myself, and that's just the best thing in the entire world. Like, how many people get to do that? Not many, in this business. So.
And my last question, what is the one thing I haven't asked each of you that you would like our audiences to know?
Oh, gosh. Oh, my God. I have 10 fingers and 10 toes. Yes. All the feelings. I may look short, but I'm actually 6'2". And no, I'm getting married. Well, I'm already married, but I met my now husband on a cruise ship that we are on, that we guest entertained on with, and it's been insane and amazing and crazy all at the same time. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to say. We're good, yeah.
So what I would like you to know is that we have a show this Saturday, May 30th at City Winery. Doors open at 11. It's called Boy Band Brunch. Show starts at 12, and you can get tickets on our website, theboybandproject.net. And it's a lot of fun. It's all of this boy band madness plus great food, flowing beverages, and we have a blast. Come see us.
I would like everyone to know, A, that I'm the bad boy. And B, that if there are any producers out there who would like to put us off Broadway in Vegas, we are ready and willing. So we've got a pre-built show. We will be printing money for you. Hit Travis.
Wait, what about the Hamptons?
I'm also down with the Hampton. We are open to Canada, if anyone in Canada is interested. UK. Yeah, if that check clears, we will make you money. We will make people smile. So yeah, I'm just gonna shamelessly put that out there.
So I'm going to shamelessly introduce you to Roger Shishel, who does stuff in the Hamptons. Roger is a very famous artist whose art just went to the moon, and no, it's even better. His art is going to Coachella.
One thing I would like to say that I like people to know about me is I'm not a natural blonde.
What?
Shocking.
One thing I think I would just like to say, just because it all started, I've known this guy since 2005. We've been friends forever, and being part of this group has changed my life in many ways, and I'm so thankful for it and what it's given me as a performer, and the different things I've learned about myself from being in it, and also getting to perform with my best friends. And also, Jesse and I met in 2017 at a rehearsal when we both started boy band, and this is my partner now. So we get to do that together. We get to travel together. It's very, very nice to have family with you at all times. And that is like one thing that is really important to me.
I would love to thank Jane Alyssa for introducing me to the Boy Band Project. I'd like to thank Craig J. Horsley for helping to co-produce. Magda Katz, who is the most amazing videographer and film person and is always there when I need her. Romel Gopez, who makes this happen. This is live from the Hotel Edison. Times Square Chronicles presents. Stay tuned because the boy band is going to sing for you right after this. And our next guests are Tim Daly and Jane Atkinson. We're looking forward to that as well. Have a great day and happy Easter.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you are my fire, the one desire. When I say that I want it that way, we are two worlds apart. got a heart.